Halloween is just around the corner and it's time to start thinking about costumes. One of the most popular options seems to be dressing up as some of your favourite TV characters. Game of Thrones is undoubtedly one of the biggest series ever and also one of my personal favourites, so now kind of felt like the perfect opportunity to finally play dress-ups. But I wanted to challenge myself to create similar costumes using only items I either already had in my wardrobe or purchased only from the thrift shop and dollar store. Let's start things off with Daenerys, who definitely has the biggest style evolution in the show, from innocent young girl in flowy dresses to Dothraki ensembles, Grecian gowns, capes, and finally back to her Targaryen roots. I decided to combine a few of my favourite elements into one outfit, starting out with my favourite colour we see her in, blue. While most characters typically wear the colours of their own house, in Season 3 and 4 we see Dany adopt the Dothraki's precious colour of blue. This was during a period when she was still on the move and was usually wearing more practical options of leather trousers and boots under shorter style dresses. However, once she became stationed in Meereen, she began to wear gowns again, which is where I took more inspiration from. Dany's style definitely has a Grecian goddess influence, but is always teamed with an element of strength, which I have recreated here by repurposing a pair of tie silk trousers from the op shop to be used as capelet-like sleeves. Dragon embellishments are another must. My favourite is in the form of statement necklaces, which I have tried to use here by spray painting a dragon from the cheap shop. Okay, so I know Oberyn Martell is only in the series for one season, but he's actually my favourite character, so I couldn't help but include him. His go-to outfit certainly seems to be this robe-style ensemble. Since the world of Game of Thrones isn't set in a particular continent or time period, costume designer Michelle Clapton said they took inspiration from all over the world, and Oberyn's costume definitely seems inspired by traditional Indian and also Persian looks. The Martells proudly honour their house through how they dress, using their sigil of the sun, just like I did here with the closure on my shirt and cuffs on my sleeves. Their warm colour palette also represents their home of Dorne, located in the desert, which I embraced through pale yellow and tan accessories. This outfit was by far the hardest to create, as finding a long robe at the thrift store was pretty much impossible. Luckily, I found this two-piece set that with some tweaking managed to look the part. Jon Snow's outfit barely changes throughout the entire series, with the exception of a slight difference in colour palette from his days as a crow compared to his triumph as King of the North. I opted for a Night's Watch look since it's a lot easier to put together an all-black ensemble. The key to his look is definitely layers. Knits, leathers and furs are a must to stay warm. Unlike other armies in Westeros, there's no metal armour or jewellery as it's just not realistic for their climate. I started with a base of a black skivvy and tights and was then lucky enough to thrift this knitted black dress with leather detailing that really gives a similar vibe to his tunic style. Of course, this leather detailing wasn't enough though, as I needed the signature crossover straps. A huge tip when thrifting for costumes is to look in the scrap fabrics area. That's where I found this faux leather material for only 50 cents and also the faux fur trim for $1, even cheaper than the IKEA rug hack. Lastly, I used a black curtain to drape across the shoulders to add that grand feel of Jon's cloak. I love monochromatic red looks, so I had to include Melisandre's outfit. My creation was most influenced by her outfit in the episode Garden of Bones back in Season 2. At this point, she still had some lighter layers opposed to the heavier fabrics and cloaks we see her in later on. Melisandre's ensemble is definitely one that has a closer resemblance to a typical medieval dress, particularly with the silhouette and the exaggerated bell sleeves, which I included in a more toned down version on this vintage shirt. Of course, as a red priestess, she must wear crimson coloured clothing, but some fabrics seemingly have a duochrome effect that almost leans more purple. I found an old formal dress at the op shop for just $10 that was the perfect colour match and acted as my base layer. You can't create a Melisandre look without her choker though. Ideally, you'll want one with hexagonal shapes as it's a key symbol for those from Asai. but I had to work with what I could find, combining this necklace with a brooch to represent the magical ruby, which I actually just painted the perfect shade with an old nail polish. Okay, so for me, Marjorie was the true style MVP of the show. I took my inspiration from seasons 2 and 3, where she is often spotted in light blues and teals and revealing more skin through deep V's, cutouts, and open backs. All of this perfectly plays up her rivalry with Cersei at the time. Of course, Tyrell's house sigil is a golden rose, which Marjorie often uses in her outfits, whether through crowns, belts, or pendants. I decided to feature a floral brooch from the thrift store to achieve a similar vibe. Like many wealthy families in the Seven Kingdoms, there's a use of a lot of luxe fabrics, and Marjorie often sports brocade patterns which can be seen through a closer up shot on my skirt, which was originally a bedspread I found at the op shop. To add further detail, there's the addition of a lace overlay from an old shirt I already owned, which creates a close resemblance to the dress she wore in the first couple of episodes of season 3. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and share it with anyone else you know who loves this show. I'm always looking at Game of Thrones theories, so hit me with any in the comments, and of course, let me know who your all-time favorite characters are, because I really want to see who's really the most popular. Thanks for watching, guys.